Many of your electronics could be susceptible to a new device exploit. Yeah, there's another one, but there are ways to avoid it. Tech expert Dave Hatter is here to explain how to protect yourself or at least minimize your risk. And we talked to Dave yesterday. Thanks for coming on last minute because, you know, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm already not using public Wi-Fi like you've instructed. And
That's
now
good.
we're talking Bluetooth and how people can hack into you because of your Bluetooth, which, let's be honest, we leave on a lot to travel because of directions, or perhaps even it's connected to your car.
I use mine in the car all the time to listen to audiobooks or music or whatever. Yeah, I mean, all these new devices have Bluetooth. It's very convenient, right? Makes it easy to just connect to whatever kind of additional device you want to connect to, your car, a speaker, whatever. The problem with so many of these things, though, is these things were designed without security in mind originally because people didn't anticipate the way they were going to be used. So a lot of these kinds of protocols, Wi-Fi, whatever, have these inherent security flaws, which, of course, bad people are always trying to exploit. And thankfully, there's people out there finding these things and warning us about them, which is the case with this Blueborne attack.
We got the good guys and the bad guys.
Working
Thank goodness
against
for the
each
good
other.
guys.
Yep.
Blueborne attack, how does it work?
So basically, Blueborne is a Wi-Fi based attack. Someone can sit with a Wi-Fi radio, it's about a 33-foot range, and essentially scan for devices that have Bluetooth enabled. If you have your Bluetooth enabled, then depending on whether your particular version has been patched or not, and iOS was patched in 2016, Windows was patched in July, Google's working on a patch for Android, but a lot of Linux devices that IoT uses Linux aren't patched. I find a device that's not patched, and basically, if it has the right vulnerabilities and I know what I'm doing, I can exploit that to get access to that device, potentially steal your information, or possibly even use that device to jump off to other devices in your network, which I think is one of the more terrifying aspects of this. Let's say you're sitting at home, I pull up out in front of your house, you've got some Bluetooth device enabled. If I can get into that, I can potentially get into your Wi-Fi, get into your computers, do who knows what. So this is a pretty nasty problem.
Now, does your Wi-Fi have to be on as well as the Bluetooth, or just the Bluetooth?
It does not. This is a Bluetooth-specific attack. So any device that you have that's using Bluetooth, a tablet, a PC, a phone, possibly, again, some kind of Internet of Things device, might be subject to this.
Okay, so what are ways you can do to reduce your vulnerability?
Well, again, ideally, you should be patching and providing updates to whatever software you have all the time. But I realize people don't necessarily understand what that means. You might have different devices with different operating systems that may or not have been patched. So the only sure way to really protect yourself from this, short of going to see if you've been patched, is to turn off Bluetooth when you're not using it. And I know that's a pain, and it sounds very cumbersome, but just as a general security practice, you should disable anything that you're not regularly using, simply because there are bad people out there who are increasingly trying to exploit these things. Now, on most operating systems, especially on newer devices, it's pretty simple to turn off and on, but it is a pain. And I will say there is one added benefit of turning it off, which is it's going to help you save battery power, particularly on like a phone or something, because when that's running in the background and you're not using it, it's consuming battery power looking for devices to pair with. So you might get an additional battery boost out of it, but I know it's a pain, and that's not something folks want to hear.
Yeah, well, the additional battery boost would come in handy sometimes.
That's a plus.
Good information, good reminder, just so you're aware. I have a feeling we'll be hearing more about this stuff.
I think you might.
Blueborne attack, keep that in mind. Dave Hatter, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on.
Anytime, Kara.
And being one of the good guys.
I'm trying to get the word out there.
He really is.
Thanks, Kara.
Many people are clamoring to find out when OJ will